Taking a look back at BAT here, not a whole lot's changed other than that we're making our way back down to this green box as I mentioned in my previous video. Ichimoku Cloud and the EMA ribbon on the daily look relatively the same. If not, things are getting a little bit worse as the EMA ribbon is starting to widen. And it looks like the Ichimoku Cloud is starting to catch up with the price action. I'm not going to talk a whole lot on the smaller time frames because they're pretty much saying the same thing, bearish breakouts. Broken below this low here, and we're currently still setting lower lows as well as lower highs. So we definitely need to see somewhat of a uptrend forming on these smaller time frames to continue this bullish action, but I believe that this won't happen until we move back down to this green box again. But the main thing I really want to talk about with BAT here is kind of a longer term outlook. So if we zoom out on the chart here, you can see a couple things going on. So I have the Fibonacci retracement drawn from this low to this high, and you can see that the 1618 is all the way down here around 17 cents. So if we do break this green box bearish to the downside, now this is just if we do, we haven't even come down to test it yet, so this could never happen. But if we do manage to break this to the downside, we could very well move all the way to this red line, which is around 27 cents. I'm getting this red line from these highs back here where it had kept Phantom down for quite some time. You can see this lasted over a year. So if we can't manage to find support here, we should see somewhat of a significant bounce at around 27 cents. And ultimately, I don't think this is going to blow through the green box to the downside. If anything, we'll probably find support off of it, bounce off the 786 and then trend lower. But this red line is definitely catching my eye for a potential trend reversal and a move to new all-time highs. As from the top to this red line here would be about an 85% drop, which is more than enough of correction for this in my opinion, especially considering that the move up we had, it was substantial, but we have been consolidating here for quite some time. We haven't really seen much of what waves did where we just had a blow off top. But another thing I'm seeing here as well on the daily time frame, and usually I'm not a huge fan of these patterns because they don't always work out properly, but you can see here we have actually quite a nice head and shoulders pattern forming on the daily chart. And if we take a price target from this, which is this green line here, and extrapolate it at the neckline to the breakout point, you can actually see the price target is touching this low back here almost perfectly. If we move this red line down here, you can see this. It pretty much exactly touches this. And I wouldn't be surprised if we came down to the 42-cent level or so, or even the 50-cent level up here, managed to retest the neckline of the head and shoulders, which is this, and then found a move all the way down here to 17 cents. But really, to sum things up, if we zoom in here, I believe that we will likely still move down to this green box no matter what. We could very well find a bounce here off the 786, but I don't see that happening in my opinion. We haven't really had much of a buy up here, and it's been a couple days. So again, watch out for a bounce between 42 and 50 cents here. This could be enough to start the uptrend, considering the last time we had a test of it, we set a new all-time high. Although don't be surprised if we do bounce off of this and find a rejection that sends us lower, anywhere between the 618 and the 786. If really we go much above the 0.5, we'll be starting to set new higher highs, and that could be indicative of a new uptrend. So for the downside, if we do break bearish out of 42 cents here, we'll likely see a retest of somewhere up here before we see this move down, likely retest the bottom of this as resistance, and potentially find a bounce at around 28 cents, which is the first red line I mentioned earlier. This could be enough to send us back into an uptrend. However, the head and shoulders pattern on the daily is pointing to a 17 to 18 cent bat. So really the fall to 28 cents could be yet another small bounce to the upside and then a continuation lower. But really, in my opinion, this depends on the rest of the crypto market. If everything else really starts tanking, a move all the way down to 17 cents is likely on the table. If not, I think we'll either get stopped out at 42 cents or down here at 28 cents. And as of right now, I'm more leaning towards something like this. So that's all I have for BAT today. This is all I have for basic attention token today. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do so as I try to post content daily. As always, this is not financial advice, and I'll see you in the next one.